any of those, but like no sub base in the mix for hardpoint. Just looks like they are trying to tune some stuff up. But like the desk convention for Seattle, not a bad series for them. This just comes down, you cannot allow Atlanta to finesse their lives for forever. You got to get kills, you got to get quick.
You have to, because that 0.9 KD as a team is not going to cut it versus Atlanta FaZe. They outslate everyone that they play against, so Seattle Surge have to be on point from start to finish. And at least for them, they get to start off on a Karachi hardpoint where they did beat the hell out of the subliners. So you're feeling confident if you are Seattle.
Yeah, it's been a good map for them kind of historically, but yeah, especially in this qualifying stage, that was by far one of their biggest highlight hardpoint wins, let alone Karachi wins. So that's going to have to be there once again. Atlanta mostly playing around red, looking to try to just have zone of control here on this rotation towards 2. Seattle right back into the hardpoint, but fighting against the current of FaZe, trying to come back in and break this hardpoint up.
Yeah, there's still 20 seconds here at P1. You don't want to give up all this time if you are Atlanta. Try to contest it all the way to the very end, but more focused on maintaining red side. That's why you don't see Sim over-channeling, being a little bit too over-aggressive on that side of the map, because he wants his team those spawns for that next hill. But a couple players from Seattle Surge are already applying pressure over towards Junk, but Abizi just walks in, finds a double, shuts it all down. Atlanta FaZe win rotation.
Yeah, heads up play right there from Abizi. I mean, there really wasn't anyone back behind him. So, hey, get forward, try to find a couple of off-angle kills, and that allows Atlanta to rotate over freely in towards P2. Spawn situation here, though, for Seattle, but Abizi's just not dropping up top. So, single-handedly, he has shut down the push from the front. One more to grab it. Abuza, and that's 5 in a row. One off an early cruise missile here for Atlanta.
And now this is perfect, because Atlanta did have a couple players spawn over towards Junk, so they're going to be gifted with an easy route off the rotation. Huke is actually going to cut his losses, finds that one-on-one versus Draza, but the trade is instantly going to be there. Abizi earned himself a cruise missile. Seattle have not been able to sniff close towards this cafeteria. And this has been a full 60 hole from Atlanta FaZe, and they're going to win the rotation to the next. Seattle, you got to start playing ahead.
Yeah, and the thing about it is they know rotations block through mid, so they're trying to play through old. I mean, there's been 20 seconds left on this hard point, and Seattle just continues to go one by one into this old time, knowing they need to get some of these Atlanta members off this rotation, but it's just not working out all that well. There it is again. Selim just playing his life. Abuza does shut the door on him, so no second streak to come through here, but FaZe, like you mentioned, over towards this mini market is already set up perfectly with a couple of good players pushed out trying to receive this hit.
And this is where that second overall in this qualifier break percentage needs to come in for Seattle. Because Atlanta FaZe, if you let them walk away with another full 60, they already have a cruise missile is going to play a big part going forward, but you just need to stop the bleeding. And every single time you look at the kill feed, it's all red. Atlanta FaZe are just picture perfect so far in this stage, and so far picture perfect in this map 1.
And the thing about it that's really, I think, compelling about how Atlanta has played hardpoint this qualifying stage, and you're seeing it here in this map, is that even if there's 3 down, instead of just waiting for the 4th, they're going to go hunt you out and take that space away from you, and that turns into things like this. Now you've got high ground power position control for Atlanta looking to rotate once again across the map, and Seattle just has not had the chance to set really anything up outside of maybe their first break attempt. So again, it's just Atlanta winning on 90% of the key elements of this hardpoint to this point.
And already off the rotation, you have a couple players contesting over towards the new hill. Seattle are spawning all over towards the red side. Finally going to get a couple players through the back, but none of the kills in their feed. Like, it's all red every single time. Rezi's sitting at 1-8. Abuza's sitting at 4-9. The Arrows are currently not playing, and Atlanta FaZe are just continuously running up that score.
Yeah, looking really clean. Although Seattle, good moment here for now. Abizi up top is another issue to deal with, though. Selim going to do the same thing from the opposite. High ground top 3rd, sees the head of Hook, doesn't miss a bullet, and it's just the slaying presence for Atlanta continues to keep them in these moments where it looks like Seattle's about to score some points, and now up the ladder nearly. Another opportunity for Abizi to dominate high ground control for this last 20 seconds, but Seattle needs some time, and they're going to fight for it.
Yeah, you need this time because you're already going to lose the rotation over towards next, and even if you win a couple gunfights at this old hill and start to progress your way through the front end, Atlanta FaZe have 2 cruise missiles to work with to re-break in towards P5, but when players are shooting like this, Abizi 13-6, Selim 14-5, like, this is what makes this team unstoppable, and like, this is what I think about this Atlanta FaZe team. This is the best form we've ever seen, and the reason why, especially in hardpoint, is that they are back to the fundamentals. All throughout the last couple of years with Atlanta, it's been, all right, we're gonna break, we got the best gun skill, like, we're gonna make the game a lot chaotic. But with Draza added to this lineup, it's all about the fundamentals, and that as they win another rotation, Seattle, they find a break, but this is where you invest that cruise.
Couple of members off the close spawn, though, trying to get here for Seattle. Looks like the cruise is going to be called by BZ, not moving at the moment. So yeah, he's going to call that forward. Brezzy likely the target, and he is. Seattle stay alive though around the outsides of the hard point. Big moment here for 04 up top, and proceeds to find the first elimination. So really well received here for Seattle. All marks going positive here over the top of 5. The break is good, the survival through the cruise is good, and the scrap time will go their way.
That's good time. Very, very much needed for Seattle Surge to withstand that cruise missile coming in, not allowed to get any kills, and then find a clean forward deck to walk away with the final 25 seconds. You're only going to put yourself in a deficit of about 45, but off the rotation of P1, you do not have any map control. Atlanta find 3 in the feed. Draza, all you have to do is at least find this trade on the point. Another break successful for Atlanta.
And that's the thing, is there's never 2 moments strung together in a row, it feels like, when you're playing up against this Atlanta hardpoint.
Yep.
Sure, maybe a couple of moments here and there, but getting a trench to actually stretch hills together, so difficult to do. Seattle looking to use kind of a duo up top on 3rd, see if they can find a way to open up the hard point, maybe even create a little bit of space around it. Decent trades back and forth, keeps the hard point neutral. Abuza still top bricks, doesn't win the gunfight versus Draza, but the trade is in. And as Brezzy tries to step into the hard point, he's met with the resistance of the follow-up push from FaZe. Back and forth, we continue to go here over the top of Rubble.
It's a big 15 seconds though, if you can get it. You still have Atlanta FaZe contesting all over the map. They're able to find every single kill. Last player up is going to be Abuza. He does find one, but you can already see on your mini-map, Atlanta FaZe again winning the rotation over towards Cafe. Seattle could not break in the last time around. Let's see what they can do this time.
Now, Easy tries to hit the same route, playing forward towards bottom red, seeing if he can receive Seattle before they have a chance to actually break through. Only gets one of the 2 this time. Atlanta still a couple of members over towards the top side at mid, but that contest is likely not enough to stop the entirety of this surge push. Trades are forward. 04 trying to step down into the hard point, catches out 1. Does he predict the second? Decent shot towards Abizi, and he'll back away, valuing his life, hoping that the surge members from behind can come and reinforce.
And this is a big break right here if you are Surge. You need this final 30, and then to keep them trapped in towards the backside of that dumpster alley is exactly what you want in this scenario. But Atlanta FaZe on the back of Celium finding a double. We're able to execute the break again. Abuza does not check the corner, and that's going to be all the kills in favor of Atlanta FaZe. They are just dominating.
Yeah, scrap time going to go to FaZe. This is kind of the make or break, though, of this hard point right here, right now. Seattle's going to win rotation as we jump on into a listen in to see how they comment out.
Holding back left. I'm holding back
I
left.
take info mid and bottom third, okay?
Yeah.
I'm holding back left.
Mid as well.
Let's get full 60, we're good, guys.
Good job.
No, I'm needing my bottom.
You have all the right for?
I'm going top. Yeah. Can you shoot it?
I'll watch bottom, yeah. I can watch bottom as well.
They take one bottom. One
Yeah, pick from
gonna be
cells,
black.
pick from cells.
He's gonna kill me in the back. He's killing me in the back. Killing
One
me in the back.
top, he should my top.
One's mid, so. Yeah, they're in the back. Just
I'm dead, I can't.
I'm on the back as well.
They spawn checks.
Yeah, last one first, yeah, back first.
I'm weak.
That's
I'm really weak.
You can try to cross on time.
Back right.
I'm getting back.
He's on the yellow car.
On time, dead.
Give a second.
Back right.
Pillar,
Sun mid.
Maybe yellow car.
Still.
Yeah, probably gonna flank me, bro. They need me on. They need me.
Third step.
Keep bottom bike. He's going front bike.
I got one.
Front bike.
First time, Abe.
Bottom first, nice. You can see that.
That's a huge one.
That's one bad, guys.
Wait, they're spawning bridge on you. Spawn check.
Still at cube, guys.
I have all the green.
No, bottom. Wait, one HP bottom green, guys.
He's done.
Nice.
I have green. Just your time.
That's true.
I'm
I've green. Yeah,
I'm pushing my own side from time.
It's nothing
They're
bridge.
gonna be backside. I'm nated. Mid, draws. Yo, they're third.
I'm green.
One guy's close, stand backs.
I'm a stand back.
Nice.
When HP, stand back.
And behind me.
I'm a
Stand back
big
dead. Top three, so. There you go.
Yeah, we spawn back that. I'm going to back that. Cover me, Paul.
Okay. Again, take up that back, right?
Beat up.
I'm letting me cut. Yeah, be cut.
Draws, one shot.
Behind the car.
Up green, dead.
Stand back, then one car. Stand back, you life.
Sandbags was weak.
Nice.
Last one left. We can go left.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, they spawned behind us. Zach spawned behind us. Wait, there's gonna be one here.
Behind the car. Stand. I'm gonna push it. I'm one HP.
More in the back. I'm going top.
Yeah, I'm heavy front.
Doing P3, guys.
Someone need to get time, guys.
In the back, just went back P3. I'm behind
I can
you.
get them.
Stop it.
Well, you're starting to catch a couple of moments of panic and frustration for Seattle when they think they've got the coverage and it's just not fully there. Maybe some of that, Jay, you were talking about it while we were listening in. The ARs just have not been able to lock down lanes against this Atlanta push.
Yeah, you can hear it in 0-4's comms. Like, he's sounding a little bit frustrated because none of his ARs are in those power positions. And when you're trying to roam around with that SMG, you need lanes to be open. And unfortunately for him, Abuza and Brezzy not having the best performance, but at least they find this break in towards P5. But all the kills in the feed are currently going in favor of Atlanta. Only 2 players left from Seattle Surge around this point, but you had to slay before you hop the hill.
Couple of players are in though for Seattle. 3 members large watching over the top of this, but then 2 fall immediately upon us. Atlanta's hit the go call. Brezzy, a good double, will clear out the front of the hard point, and that will guarantee the scrap. But you're absolutely right. I mean, I know the scoreboard was not reflecting the proper time up until about a week ago. It is now 33 and 20 with no seconds of time for Abizi. He is just running around having himself a whale of a time.
Yeah, that's insane stuff because he hasn't touched the hill a single time. But when he's playing like that, you just got to let him continue to fry. Seattle Surge, little but surely, they're showing life. They're on this P1 hill. They're finding him at least a couple kills, trading effectively. Atlanta's able to find a break for now, but you're keeping it scrappy through the middle of the map.
Yeah, not bad. Down 40. There's still a chance here. Just running out a little bit of a time, and you have to make sure that Atlanta gets taken off this hill while also you win rotation. Like
Yes.
you mentioned, it's been hard for Seattle to do 2 things right in a row against this FaZe squad. So that's the requirement if they want to have a chance to get back into this game. And just as soon as we frame it up, Atlanta comes away with 3 straight eliminations, a chance to get back on the scrap time of 1.
But now you just have to cut your losses if you are Surge because you are in the midst of an opportunity to finally get your first Cafe Hill. You just got to win a couple fights over this jump ball. Beezy starts it off with the first. No one can slow that guy down. He's able to find a double. Hookah's just trying to play a couple cutoff kills, hoping that his teammates can take care of Beezy, but he is still frying. Finally gets taken down 0-4 with the one-on-one gunfight, and that at least allows Seattle into the hill first.
Here we go. There's a chance here. The cutoff from Simp goes pretty much negated. Celium now trying to play off the mid-cross. Decent shots over towards 0-4. That allows Draza to step on into the hard point. Contest is alive. 3 in a row for Draza back over to the pistol. And the kills for Atlanta start to turn up. Still a couple members here from Surge. Just need to get in and find these kills. And this is what we're talking about. It's just so hard to trade out this Atlanta team. Abuza gives it one good try, but the fallout from Celium is in. And now it's just 8 seconds remaining before Atlanta can win this game.
Yeah, that might just be it. Celium still finessing in towards the backside of the closet. No one's going to be even close to the hard point for the Surge, and that is going to be Atlanta FaZe taking map 1.
Clean, man. It really is. And again, maybe this is the first time that we've been able to really see it, you know, fully, especially considering the map pool that Atlanta has played so far throughout this major, which has consisted of a lot of Karachi for what it's worth. But again, I think it is just one of those things, like Atlanta's taking away 3 wins for every 1 loss in the moment that happened across this hard point. Like, they'll win rotation, they'll hold, maybe they'll get broken for scrap, but then they'll win rotation again, they'll hold, and then they'll hold the scrap. Like, it's just so hard to find moments to string together if you're Seattle, and I think it does become a little bit more difficult to assume so when your ARs just are not able to stop Abizi from running around and doing whatever he wants. 6,300 damage. Celium at 35 and 16, right below that, but also has 2 minutes and 24 seconds of hill time. So, you know, it's just so weighted between that main AR and that main SMG Slayer role right now for FaZe. It's hard to deal with.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to deal with, especially when you allow Atlanta FaZe to have such a hot start, because Seattle, you only lose this game by 75 points. You gave up 260 holds at the P2 at Cafe. And then you also allow Atlanta FaZe to get a couple cruise missiles to make themselves find easy breaks to some of these hills that you were early rotating. So it's a slow start from Seattle. If they started off on a better foot, it's probably a down to the wire kind of game, but another story for Seattle Surge. It's been the story so far all of this stage. At 0.19 KD, if you're not able to slay, especially with the best in Atlanta FaZe, you're simply not going to be able to keep up in the game. Atlanta FaZe just kept their foot on the gas to start to finish of this map number 1. And now if you are the Surge, you need to respond into a search and destroy on Invasion, where Atlanta FaZe have a lot of reps on it.
Yeah, absolutely the case. And the only real benefit here is just across Seattle's history, their search and destroy has always kind of carried them through tough series.
Yeah.
So that would have to essentially be there again. But the thing about it is, you know, the Seattle search and destroy of, you know, Major 1, Major 2, it's not as much prevalent in terms of conversation points as we've had since the switch into 04. A couple of good moments to be sure, lots of round 10s, even a round 11 loss. So some of their losses haven't necessarily been poor. It just comes down to finding that consistency and letting this be a game mode that really allows you a chance to beat teams that are around you, I think in particular. Like, this is a David versus Goliath story, but hey, you got to take some benefit off the fact that you kept this game relatively close. You're within 40 points at one moment in time. Your search and destroy, it does go to an invasion, which you're happy to see, to be sure. And then the 6-star also good for you. So it definitely feels like Seattle, if they were to win this series, would have to be by way of winning maybe the 2-3-5 here.
Yeah, if I'm Seattle, I'm foaming out the mouth to get some 6-star because that has been their bread and butter map alongside Vista. Unfortunately, we do not have Vista in this series, but now you got to figure it out on Invasion Search and Destroy, where both teams have one strafe and one weakness. The weakness for Atlanta FaZe is their attacking rounds. They're sitting at about even, but their defenses, they're basically stellar, and they're one of the best teams at this map at finding first bloods. On the opposite side for Seattle, you usually play Invasion, you're thinking, all right, defenses need to be locked up. Like, it's very difficult to work these bomb plants, and for some reason, Seattle Surge have yet to put it together. They're 10th overall on that side, with them not finding a lot of success in that first blood column. You know, if you give a first blood to Atlanta FaZe, they're going to take full advantage of it. So if you are Surge, you have to fix your defenses and simply not drop first.
And the thing about this Atlanta team on this map as well is, you know, if Seattle decides to play with a bit of tempo, especially from the offensive side, get the bomb planted, that has usually been pretty decent for them, but you're playing up against a very strong retake team in Atlanta, in particular on this map. So there's really not a great avenue towards like, hey, just do this way better than your opponent and you can win. This has to be a full collected effort here for Seattle, and flat out, as easy as it is to say, they need to find a way to outplay Atlanta on this map.
Yeah, it needs to be with teamwork, though. Like, the individual plays are not going to work. We see how that's been turning out for Boston. Simply 0-7 this stage, but Seattle Surge, the way that they've been getting a lot of success has been through the teamwork. 0.9 overall team KD, but they're still finding W's. As you take a look at the difference between the attacking and the defending side so far in Search and Destroy, Atlanta FaZe are basically perfect. They're number one, like, they're uncontested in basically everything. Defense is sitting at number 2. Like, how the hell do you stand a chance with a team that's great on both sides of the floor?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is they've lost 3 maps this entire qualifying stage, and one of them was around 11. And go figure, it was against Carolina on this map, but still, it's just the avenues of how you beat this Atlanta team are slim, if they're even avenues at all. They feel more like footpaths, I'm sure, if anything. So that is, I think, the biggest issue. And if you were a team like Seattle, this is kind of a big test for a player like 04. You know, first major team that you've had a chance to play up against, and naturally we swap right to him getting smoked off the rip by Dross.
That's a caster curse right there, Allen, and Dross is able to find his second on the round. Now Abuza and Brezzy, the ARs, left here for Seattle, trying to clutch on up, and you can already see Atlanta. They're not going to give them any space to work with. They're just trying to trap them on this side of the map.
Yep, play forward, play corners, get your reads, find your quick kills, and Abuza will show himself almost enough for Draza to collect the elimination. Not fully. Brezzy able to take down Draza on for 1, and then the follow-up back over to the pistol is able to find a BZ. So now from what was a 1v4 essentially to a 1v2, plenty of time remains, but the problem is he has no idea where Atlanta are, and Atlanta has bottled them up inside of Cafe. So round will go their way. First 2 kills were barely even really contested as Atlanta came away with the first 2 cleanly.
Yeah, Atlanta found the first blood in the first 3 seconds of the map. Like 04, you cannot get picked off in that scenario, because you've been the shining light for Seattle so far in Search and Destroy for this stage. But great team fires from Atlanta get that first blood. They're able to find the second as well. Draza on the top of the tank. And then when you put yourself in a 4v2, you're just consistently taking the map away from the opposing team. And Brezzy, even when he finds that double, just had no awareness of where the rest of Atlanta FaZe were. Atlanta take round 1.
So a bit of a throwaway round right there. Just never a chance to really battle back. And now Sullivan once again getting to work through mid. Has seen at least one player trying to play aggressive in towards mid tank. And you can see Atlanta, as kind of a response, are trying to catch early isolation of Brezzy over towards B, but a trophy system keeps him safe. And response grenades do push Atlanta back just a touchdown B Street.
Yeah, thankfully Brezzy was able to find a double in that last round to earn that trophy system, because their defensive look would have looked completely different. It's him not being the Iron Man over towards B, but he's still going to fall for that first blood of BZ with the AR in hand. He's able to get it done, and look at Sim already taking space.
It's so smooth for Atlanta. It's just such a perfect read. And again, you have to give, you know, Brezzy some help over there at one point, but he's got to help himself. You cannot be isolated as the sole defender at B. As soon as that happens, you know Seattle has to rotate over, and Atlanta are right there behind them, literally. So now Abuza finds himself in a 1v3. And he's got Atlanta members staring him down on this round as well. Just, yeah, that's just too easy for Atlanta. Again, getting free bloods all over the map.
And look at their teamwork. Like, you could just tell BZ and Cellium are so in sync. They showed it all throughout map number 1. They were just going back and forth, knowing that the last teammate was watching that front end from the tank. So as long as we trade effectively, we are okay. That's now 2 first bloods in favor of Atlanta FaZe to lead to 2 round wins. But as we take a replay look at Simp just finding the timing through the mid tank, able to find that first kill. 04s already have a couple bullets in them. He's able to find the second as well. You called it perfect, Alan. Like, they just play smooth. Really, really smooth.
Yeah. It's just so quick. They know exactly. It's like they've got the X-ray from Codcaster on. They know exactly what things mean when there's a kill that happens on one side of the map. Okay. Let's get something going here, Seattle. 4-man stretch. Everyone's alive in the first 15 seconds. That's already a bit of a benefit. But Atlanta have also kind of concealed this defense just a touch. It's a very safe angle for Cell. Simp is tucked in a corner at Cage. And then a little bit of floating help on the middle from both Draza and Abizi, just kind of waiting to see where the context comes from.
And right now you can see, look at the plays coming in from Draza. He's just going back and forth between both sides, just forcing Seattle to think that they have some kind of information of how they're playing this setup, but he's just being such a nuisance on the defensive end. That's already been 45 seconds knocked off of the game clock. Looks like the push is finally going to be called over towards A, and Abizi finds another first blood.
Ook does provide a nice trade. Keeps this A side a bit more open, but here comes Simp through B Street. Maybe he caught a glimpse of someone through DVD Alley. Doesn't like the look of it, so backs up over towards Dark. But the longer that this hit takes to develop, the more Simp may think that, wait, they've rewrapped. And once again, he's read it perfectly. Just making sure he's got the full commitment to be able to hit on this B Street play. And maybe this moment of hesitation will kind of cost the opportunity to blow up the round. So Seattle will get a post plant, but do they know all 3 FaZe members are playing through this retake on the flank?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to get a read on it. The stun is also going to connect onto 04. You set up Simp to find that kill. And now where is the bomb carrier and where's the final player, as they at least spotted 1 player crossover towards Ice Stream, so they have every single outside information they want.
Oh, and the shots onto Brezzy are near perfect. Hook trying to step in towards the smoke, finds himself too. Straight back out, MCW up, but he can't track down where Cell had bailed out to. It was a decent read from Seattle. Really it was, considering that Simp was the only one to show himself on that flank initially. But the reposition from Hook gave himself a chance, just could not find the 3rd member through the smoke.
Yeah, Hook drives through the chaos. We've seen him doing time and time again over the years. Unfortunately, not able to clutch up in the one-on-one. As Atlanta FaZe, they just played that to perfection. Another first blood on their pocket. Obviously, is instantly traded, but once Simp's teammates get a call that, all right, we're pushing all the way up through the Water Street side, they're not over towards Cafe. They obviously have to be going over towards B, and they were able to isolate 04 to start off that trade fights.
Yeah.
So Atlanta FaZe just picture perfect still.
It's just the mid-round adjustments are so freaking perfect from FaZe. It's hard to deal with. It's hard to keep track of, and it's hard to keep them guessing, it seems like. 04 was, surely he was seen on the slide through. BZ not looking primed to try to challenge us, not with an MCW in hand. His whole responsibility is to make sure no one pushes through B Street. The bomb is still leaning A, and they've got Celium taking a long-range battle versus Sabuza at the moment.
Yeah, you don't need a BZ getting overzealous over the flank area. Just make sure you're holding on your cut, allowing your teammates to get some information over towards Cafe. And then when they pounce, it's time for you to make the play. Yeah. He does have a read that 04 is going to be in towards Broken. He puts down a couple shots, not able to find the kill, but he's trying to at least force a couple players from Seattle Surge to pull towards his way.
And Atlanta's making noise here at this Water Street, seeing if they can pull 04 out to rotate to give Abizi a chance at that 1v1. And finally, the rotation comes through, but Abizi cannot find the elimination. Brezzy through mid, also stops Draza from tracking back, slips away with his life. Help from 04 over the top. He wants the gunfight, and he takes it. Clean shots from 04. Now just down to Abizi. 1v3, make it a 1v2, but the follow-up is very good. And for the first time, Seattle respond with a nice round here.
Yeah, they get the first blood on the back of Hook. Like, he was contesting over towards the A side. They did not bite on the distractions over towards B. 04 was doing a great job of at least throwing his shoulders on that side of the map, keeping Abizi at bay, but when it came down to the fights over towards A, Hook starts it off, and then Seattle Surge is better in the trade scenarios. Also, Brezzy taking a lot of space to at least find that second kill in towards Cafe was a huge one.
Yeah. Well, First Bloods have told the story of who wins the round so far. You asked the question, could Seattle be better at winning opening duels? So far, the answer has not been yes, but at least when they have gotten their first blood, they've converted the round, which is always a strength. Different setup here, though, for FaZe. You've got Simp playing deep and aggressively in towards DVD Alley. Maybe a moment where Seattle kind of recognized that this is a possibility, but you've also got Atlanta taking a lot of space early through mid, bounce back from Draza, and now Simp is kind of left on his own to see what he can do.
And I'm pretty sure Hook got some info that he was getting aggressive up through DVD, but it's looking like they're just going to completely disregard him. 0-4 finds the first blood onto BZ, but this is now Simp's opportunity to make a play. The trade is there, instant 3v3.
And the defense is rotated over towards Ice Cream. So Seattle have kind of found themselves now isolated on their own foot. Nice push through. Hook able to find one and then turn into a pop-up play into Celium. A bold call, but it works out perfectly. And then Abuza holding the flank works out to find Simp, who again just could not get out of DVD. So good awareness, good push, and just good overall decision making from Hook to win the round for Seattle.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. The decision making right there for Seattle was amazing, because you didn't want to waste time working your way back over towards DVD to try to isolate Simp, because you don't know if he's still going to be in that position. We're going to try to push through that B site where we know nades are coming over the top towards Palace side, so there has to be a couple players on that side of the map. And Hook wins some insane gunfights with that Rival 9 through the Ice Cream door. He's able to secure the round for Seattle. Another first blood for Surge. Secures the W.
Yep. Wow, look at this. Another aggressive setup for Seattle right in the middle of the map. A couple of pre-fire shots plus a lot of nades, and one of those do land over towards the B-side street. Draws are the first one to drop. And now this is again about Seattle just holding your numbers, play the 4v3, don't give Atlanta a chance to get a free trade.
Yeah, just keep the tax in your back pocket, because most of the players are stacking over towards this A side. But Brezzy, you can also not fall in that situation. Your teammate has your cross. They can't get to you for free. But when you give up that kill, now the B site is completely open. Atlanta FaZe can work that objective.
And they're going to get this plant and a post plant of their choosing. A long rewrap route from both Hook and Abuza. But Celium is playing a more passive angle and broken. So this is just about him, again, holding this street side. Just don't get pushed on. Let the rest of this post plant stay safe behind it. So you may have to hope that 0-4 is the one to turn heads first, because here's Abuza lined up for free by Cell. A quick turn doesn't really catch out Hook. Abizi showing maybe more than he was intended to, but the help from the coverage of Simp is decent. Abizi trying to finesse, but the push through for 0-4 timed out perfectly. And while the extra little shots that he was able to find through Ice Cream to push Abizi off may have been everything they needed for Seattle to get
same angle, because that's what Atlanta FaZe are going to be looking for. But he plays this super patient towards the Palace side. Is able to at least spot Abizi.
That's big.
Right in the arm. Puts him one shot, forces him to reposition. Then takes down Simp. Abizi's already weak. 0-4 making another massive play for Seattle in search and destroy to tie the game up at 3. But Brezzy with that first blood over the top. They got another one on the board.
Yeah, that's one of those, thanks, boys. You bailed me out here, because, you know, Brezzy, that's twice now. You just cannot be the first one to drop on Tractor like that. It just cannot happen. Different setup here for FaZe again. Abizi this time stepping in towards Cafe early, looking for a quick cross. Doesn't see anything. And then it's back to normal, with the only exception being Celium is the one wrapping and staying committed towards B, as Draza is playing over the B-Dom tank.
And now Atlanta FaZe don't have to move. You have every single crossfire being watched. They cannot cross to either one of these sites without you knowing. So it's all about just staying strong on your round, on your setup, and making those mid-round adjustments, since it's already been 40 seconds wiped off the game clock. A lot of attacks are going to get vested over towards this B site, so it's going to fall into the hands of Simp.
Cell trying to rotate over. Smoke will block his cross. He's just going to pre-fire through it. And he may have gotten a little bit of damage. You can also see the stuns coming over the top as well from the defenders at mid. That stopped Seattle's approach. So that smoke goes for nothing. Abizi stuck up towards mid with Draza, but he commits a little bit too far forward. And Brezzy pistol that will win the second. Cell now has to commit with Simp to playing this from the B Street side, and we're going to see an A plant.
There should be a free A-bomb plant, but Simp's trying to at least find this kill onto 0-4 to make this more manageable. Now you have 45 seconds to try to get a read of what the setup in the post-plant scenario is going to be for Surge. A couple players stacked in towards the cafe. Simp's going to at least get some info onto one, but he's trapped between a rock and a hard place. He falls, Celium left in a 1v2.
Yeah, and Cell's got to wait for the regen before he can chow anything, and I don't know if they know that Abuza is playing over the top of the half wall. Now we do. Cell, seeing if Abuza will give him a free 1v1. Won't happen. Brezzy still playing deep over towards that cafe cutout. And yeah, this is just Seattle playing with their food just a touch. Make sure Celium cannot do anything crazy. Time's likely going to run out in this play. He's down to 8. Yeah, no chance to hop and stick it. Plus, you've also got Abuza playing over the corner just to confirm that that's the case. And Seattle are going to go up 4-3 here. I mean, Jay, that's surprising to say, considering we've been praising Atlanta's setups and how they played to the mid-round, but Seattle have found ways to adjust, adapt, and find good commitments.
Yeah, they found another first blood on that round. That's now 4 first bloods, which leads to 4 round wins. But Atlanta FaZe, you can just tell in that round they were playing a little too cocky, a little too confident, because they were getting a lot of info early on that, all right, the pressure's probably coming over towards B, but then they changed their mid-map setup. You take a BZ out of mid-court, you push him up towards the mid-side of that B-Dom. And unfortunately, he gets caught off guard in Seattle. They take full advantage of it. Also, Brezzy slides him with the pistol to find the second. That's chef's kiss. Way to make up for the previous round as Seattle Surge now in the advantage.
Love it. Okay. What do you change here if you're Atlanta? After, you know, being, again, kind of shut out of first bloods in the last handful of rounds. Don't die to nades seems to be the call in this round.
Yeah.
Everyone's staying indoors, and that's exactly the case. So Hook will preside over the middle of the map. He's got a little bit of assistance nearby in 04, but he's playing towards DVD. And Abuza is just trying to scout whatever he can through water. Brezzy right back over towards the tractor again at B.
And now Hook in a very crucial position. A lot of stuff can explode right around this area outside of this freezer door. But he tries to go for the child up through the middle, and Simp is making him pay for it. 04 there for the instant response. It's still a 3v3.
Yeah, but the thing about this DVD position is he is, again, self-isolated himself, kind of like Simp had from rounds previous. And Abizi says, if you're going to play towards DVD, I'm just going to try to stick for a plant. A couple of kills come through, one from either side. Zell trying to rotate over. Caught mid-map by Brezzy. Good pistol win. Now down to Draza, the only one who has not been seen yet by Seattle. Can he surprise this and find a way to come back to a planted bomb and win out a 1v2? Seattle's looking for him on the hunt. Not able to see him initially. And that's a self-stun. Not what you want to see. Maybe he thought it was a smoke. Maybe he thought he had it on the corner, but none of those things happened. And now Seattle will get to 5. And the little duality play between 04 and Hook mid-map works out all right for them.
Yeah, that worked out perfect because you at least kept the numbers even, and then even on the flank area where Celium finds the kill, you see Seattle Surge said, screw the bomb planner, screw the guy watching over that bomb guy. We're going to isolate Celium, who we already gained info that he was playing over towards Treehouse. They go for the double child. They make it a 2v1, and then unfortunately, Draza thinks he's got a smoke in the back pocket. Too bad, it's a stun grenade. Gives himself no chance in that round, and now Seattle Surge put themselves at game point with 5 rounds in a row.
Yep. That's, I mean, again, it's just been perfect in terms of how do you adjust for this Atlanta setup, both defensively and then as well, how do you deal with this Atlanta offense, which has been a lot of trying to play pretty aggressive late in the round. Abizi once again over towards mid cafe, just looking for a crosser early in front of A. Not able to scout anything initially. 04, important to note, MCW in hand this round, not a rival. So look to see if Seattle's going to play this one a little bit more patient. Look for picks.
Yeah, that's definitely what they're going to look for. At least get some kind of info how Atlanta FaZe are playing on their defensive setup. You're able to spot Draza, but you don't have any info on Abizi. He finds another first blood on the map. Looks a little bit different on that bottom right corner, but the trade is effectively going to be there for Sim. 3v2, making it 2v2.
Oh, but the trade back from Abizi. Brezzy nearly able to get another double. He has been good for those mid-round, but the numbers favor FaZe. Bomb collected by 04. And does he see Cell? Well, not fully, but at least confirms he's playing on this side of the map. A response back over. Tracks Abizi up top at Sandbags. Stun will also lock. So again, time being an issue here for 04. Avoids the follow-up nades, has a BZ mid-map, but can't quite lock down the shot. Cell gonna take the battle. 04 down to 50 HP, and he's got to commit to this. Frag cooked up, thrown over towards Park, but here comes FaZe right through Water Street. No worries to overwhelm him. And we'll go 5-4.
That had to be so annoying if you're 04 in that scenario, because you're playing against guys and a BZ is selling who simply do not die when they need to. They're throwing shoulders consistently. And you can just tell, like, in that situation, he knew he had to play for a kill, but we're forward working that bomb plan because Atlanta still had a couple tacks in their back pocket. They were able to consistently check if the bomb was getting planted. But by the time he puts down all those shots with that MCW, you have no more ammo to go for the double chow. Atlanta FaZe on the back of a BZ finding the first blood. Stay alive a little longer.
Okay. Now to the offense. We've seen, again, FaZe try to play for the first blood and then commit. Are they maybe getting familiar enough with this B setup? Try to do something aggressive. 04 does use the smoke to sneak in towards Broken. Abizi is no stranger to this play, though, so I'm sure he's thinking about this could be an option, but largely speaking, Atlanta cannot convert on any early first bloods through B Street at the moment. Does that frag connect? No. So BZ again still concealed from any information on how far this Seattle defense playing forward.
And every single player from Atlanta are over towards this treehouse side. They're basically going to try to isolate 04, and 04 is able to find 1 kill. So early first blood in favor of Surge. Brezzy, they were not expecting him in that position, is at least able to put themselves in a 4v2.
Oh, but they're trying to follow up on the damage that was hit by Brezzy, and 04 kind of sacrifices his life, and Brezzy's stuck here. The bomb trying to rotate back over towards A, where Hook is there to meet him. Well won, and now it's just down to Draza for a 1v3. Abuza over the top, clean shots, has him at 1 bullet, and how about it? Great search and destroy from Seattle after 3 flawless rounds from Atlanta. The composure, the adjustments, everything turns up in favor of Surge, and let's be honest, some of those came by way of some heroic doubles that come through in the middle of the round, but regardless of it, Seattle put together a handful in a row and take the map 2 to get us tied up at 1-1.
Yeah, they made the adjustments, man. That's just great plays from Seattle Surge, especially on the defensive end. They said 2 times in a row now, Brezzy did fall over towards Tractor. This time we're going to put a little bit more of a defensive setup on that side of the map, use that smoke to cross over towards Broken, and then 04 just being a nuisance in that area kept Atlanta FaZe at bay. They came out swinging, took the early first 3, but then it was 4 first bloods from Seattle. Then they could find themselves at game point, and then to close it out, they find another first blood on the back of 04. That was 5-5, but just the mid-round adjustments were a lot better from Surge. Like, if you're Atlanta FaZe, we got to make sure we chill out a little bit, because teams are going to start to understand what we do, but when you're playing a little bit too cocky, then it comes back to bite you.
And the other side of that too, you know, defensively speaking, Draza was a non-factor, which is very rarely the case. I mean, they just never really gave him a chance over towards B Street to do too much. So you stay away from the ARs early after those first 3 rounds, and things started to work out really nicely for Seattle. So we're tied 1-1. We stay in invasion, we go to a control. Could be interesting because, hey, for Surge, it's been a pretty positive match for them, Jay.
Oh, yeah. Invasion's the only one that they have W's on with this roster so far in this stage. So you're feeling fantastic if you're the Surge spawning into some Invasion control next.
Well, that's what we got. And then, of course, we have at least one of our 2 6 stars for the hardpoint. Maybe a map 5 here as well, which, again, like we said, Seattle would likely need to see if they want to beat this FaZe squad and hand them their first loss of this qualifier. But a lot way to go before we can get there. And we stop to Invasion control next after the break.
Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
The Cataclysm Pack is available now. This bundle includes the Cataclysm Operator Skin, Dystopia Weapon Blueprint, Iron Lung Charm, Broom Animated Calling Card, Alpha Vinyl Guiding Light Emblem, and Scratch Tally Weapon Sticker. Use these items in both Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and Call of Duty Warzone. Available in store now using Call of Duty points.
after a really fast start in the hard point, Atlanta was looking tight. Little bounce back though from Seattle late, and then a big comeback effort in the map number 2 has us at a 1-1 count, and Jay's ready to run through a freaking cement wall with the Seattle intro. I see you bumping.
That's all it is, baby. That intro just gets me turned, bro. Like, I'm ready to rock, and hopefully Seattle Surge are ready to rock into this control because they're gonna need it. We saw it in map number 1. They got outslayed heavily. It was a total of 31 kills, and that's what Atlanta FaZe are really good at doing, especially in control. They are literally the top slaying team that we have. They win a majority of their rounds by outslaying by 7 to 10 kills. And if you are Seattle Surge, at least you have the average 6 in your previous matchups. Not versus Atlanta FaZe, though. You need to be on point here.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, like, the numbers are relatively similar when you look at things like the attacking record, the defensive record. So, again, even though the overarching story point, which has been Atlanta dominating everybody in control, the recency bias of what's happened in Major 3 is actually not terrible for what Seattle's been able to put together, especially, like you mentioned, on this map. Now, the only issue has been hard pressed to find any wins in control has been the Seattle team. Are you too one-dimensional? Are you too predictable in what happens here on the invasion control? Only time will tell as we get the very usual break-off 2-1-1 split. Look for picks and then make a decision on which zone you want to hit for Seattle.
And the good thing already is that 15 seconds into the round, not a single player from Seattle Surge has fallen. They just had to try to get a read on where Atlanta FaZe are because Celium already finds the first kill. BZ's causing problems in towards Broken. That's 2 early kills go in favor of Atlanta FaZe, and now they can start to reinforce their numbers up through B Street.
Yeah, Hook just on the hunt here, seeing if he can find this last stray Atlanta FaZe member over towards DVD. Not going to work out, though, so now has to come back over towards the zone. Draza making a mess of the rotation as he stepped deep into the park, and now he's in the backside of the play. Oh, no. Seattle very much so under threat of being spawn trapped, if not overwhelmed on this B approach. Need these kills from the front to start turning up, and again, FaZe just so hard to finish off. It just feels like their life lasts for way too long, but decent kills here at least keep Seattle relatively out of threat of spawn trap, but no success towards either zone yet is still an issue.
And now they are super trapped because Draza worked his way around the deep pitch and now finds himself in towards Ice Cream. Gonna force all of the Surge to work their way over towards A. You do currently have Hook in on the point, but the nades are gonna be hitting, the stuns are gonna be hitting. He's gonna be one shot. And there's going to be bodies there from Atlanta FaZe, at least potentially to contest, but he wins that one-on-one, and he's still working up that first record.
Nade coming in decently, and that's enough to take Hook off the point. First tick of progress has not been locked in over towards A. The rest of the Surge making their way over towards B, and they will get there to stop the clock at 15.1. Draza seeing what he can pick apart from the high ground here at Treehouse, and oh, good challenge from 04. Sees him over towards Broken Window, now gets on for the double stack. Brezzy trying to watch over towards DVD. Sella will find the kill, but the first and second tick look pretty good. Atlanta looking to bounce back and stop this zone from being captured, though.
Yeah, they're going to try their best, but at least Seattle Surge, they're not giving them anything to work with. 04 already puts himself up towards Treehouse, so would look to be a dominant round from Atlanta. Now you have an extra minute extended into this one. And a lot of map control currently in favor of the Surge. 04, you really want that one back because that would have been a difference maker. But now it's a minute and 5 seconds, Atlanta, and they just need to hold strong on their defense.
Yeah, Seattle given a bit of a path here over through DVD to try to rotate through mid-map, but Abizi trying to reclaim it, has found good first blood, and then a follow-up onto Abuza pretty much shuts down the play on the OE. So now Atlanta, with their focus, starts to step in and step forward. Hook has technically gotten behind Simp here, who is playing in the weirdest angle I think anyone would have expected, just laying prone in the middle of the street. But a quick trade comes out, and Seattle have a chance to approach A.
And they just have to get past Draza. The trade is at least effectively on that side. Now with only 30 seconds left, this is basically going to be your last hoorah. Have to try to get past the defensive setup, the crossfire setup out of Atlanta FaZe. They find 2 initial kills in towards the feed, and with only 20 seconds left, not a single play from Seattle Surge even close. This might be it.
Yeah, Cell is red though. Abizi also taken down over towards Freezer's side. Sell off the regen, trying to find at least some contact at mid, and with the help of Simp, they will clean up 3 of the 4. So for Seattle, again, it's not a round that you're going to love the feel of, but hey, you still found 3 ticks of progress, which is better than we may have figured considering some of the earlier moments in this round.
Yeah, you made something out of nothing, and that was great plays from Hook to just be that nuisance player over towards A, winning that one-on-one gunfight to force Atlanta FaZe to fully give up their setup over towards that B point to earn those 3 segments into this round. But you can already see Atlanta FaZe, obviously you prefer to spawn on an invasion control on the defensive side because your numbers are going to get padded left and right, but it's been an issue for Seattle Surge early into this one. You have to respond with a dominant defense, and to simply not give up any segments over towards A.
Yeah. Just, again, not able to set the bar super high on your first offense, but it gives you a chance to kind of neutralize what was a very poor opener.
Yeah.
If you can set up a good defense here. 3-1 split for the Seattle defense. The only player actually defending B is 04. And Atlanta have a lot of attention and eyes towards Cafe as if they want to try to break out and go towards A, but Hook's first blood is going to pretty much stop that. Plus the follow-up pushing through B Street. This is looking really solid for Seattle.
Yeah, they win the one-on-one gunfight over to the player at B, and now they find all the kills through the middle of the map, and Atlanta FaZe are potentially going to be put into a trap, but Draza at least still has a lot of mid-map control. He wins a one-on-one gunfight, but the rest of the teammates are falling. 04, that's another one that you want back. Sip gives his team another opportunity to push up through B Street.
But that's about all he's able to provide. Off the regen, maybe a chance to stop the clock. Abuza trying to over on the sandbags. Can't quite find it. Abizi shuts him down. Prezi, though, still keeps the clock ticking. So again, Seattle, you know, responding and throwing some punches of their own here on this round 2 defense.
Yeah, and Atlanta FaZe, you better not be caught lacking here, because I know you're still showing a lot of presence over towards A. Just trying to keep Seattle Surge on that side of the map, but now you got to put your focus over towards B. 04 not able to win that second gunfight onto Abizi, but the first one was a snap. The segment is going to get complete for Atlanta FaZe as they're working on the second one.
All but Abuza actually takes down Simp, who was watching this dark push the entire way through. So now Abizi has to give up his angle in order to jump back onto the zone. Here comes Seattle for the retake attempt. Oh, good for draws on 3 in a row, but 04 able to take this to a 1v1, but Cell steps away, eludes the gunfight a little while longer, plus gets a read towards Hoop, but can't win it. 13 seconds left. Simp able to jump back in, plus shots towards Prezi will confirm the second tick, plus the nade over the top should allow the third to also be secured.
Now, if you are Atlanta, time is going to get extended by a minute. Just got to try to take a little bit more map control, because you have no idea how Seattle Surge, how far pushed up they are over towards that Water Street side, but it's trying to clear out the middle of the map. Sip slides up, able to win the first gunfight onto 04, and now you just have to get him read on where the hell the rest of the Seattle.
Yeah, Draza trying to feel things out on the overextension. Prezi gets one before dropping. 04 coming out of gas station. Whoa, wants the battle, and that's a clean win. I will say this much. This is, like we mentioned, 04's first real test at a major team in the CDL, and he's provided. He's had a good series so far, and now he wants Cell. Oh! Okay! I'm telling you, this kid's him. He's had himself a heck of a series at this point, and now gives Seattle an opportunity to try to play a bit forward on the defense. Abizi trying to change that, and he does confirm a kill and a half worth of eliminations.
But that's 3 dead in the feed. Make it all 4. All of Seattle Surge coming off the respawn. You got to invest attacks, throw your stuns, throw your nades, try to slow them down, because Atlanta FaZe are already in.
First tick being worked on. 2 members on for the stack. Hook try to force it in, but again, everyone's just waiting for it. Semtex does take one out of the place, and then 04 able to take the second, but still, FaZe following up. 2 more members on. Second tick of progress being worked on. Prezi able to take down one. Draza try to find the trade, and he does, but does not confirm the second tick. So that starts to get depleted, and here we go again.
10 seconds left. Last push from Atlanta. You do have one player working around the deep pitch, but time is not going to be on their side. You have to get them out of the hill. You have to put someone in towards the point, and at least Seattle Surge are able to stay alive on the defense. They almost broke down at the very end of that one. You cannot afford to go 4 dead with only 20 seconds left on the round, because then you allow Atlanta FaZe to at least get the one segment complete over towards A. So now they are in the advantage going forward for the rest of the map.
But again, just marginally so. Like, Seattle is hanging around, battling back, and that's something that we weren't really able to say too much in the hard point. It's like we said, it's hard to put together 2 moments in a row in the respawns versus Atlanta, but here, they're at least keeping themselves in the picture by finding the right responses. 04 to 14 and 14. He's hanging. As the hit for Seattle is all 4 members over towards B with no trophy. They're lucky to be alive considering how many of those stuns and nades were landing.
Now they're working their way up for this B progression. First segment already going to be complete, and I love this team effort right here out of the Surge. You not put anything fishy. No one over towards Cafe. We're just going to catch them off guard with a stack over towards B, as they currently have a lot of map control to go with these segments. The second one is about to get done, but Atlanta FaZe are here to contest.
Second tick of progress does get locked, though. So even though Atlanta cleared the zone, Abuza and Seattle have a chance to still work back and extend this clock maybe early. I say that with hesitation, though, because Celium's on a power position at mid. Abizi's pushing up on the flank. Uh-oh. You want to count with Abizi here. Whoa, okay. Thought for a second he was going to go from 1 to 2 to 3, but Abuza off spawn, reads it, gets the kill, and now Seattle all of a sudden have a little bit of momentum starting to build over towards A. Simp can only deal with one, and now Abizi stepping in is the next defender up, and as his team comes off spawn, Atlanta will make sure no nonsense happens on this A zone.
Yeah, that's the big thing, is to make sure no one's going to get aggressive up through the A street. Abizi Chill's trying to sniff out. Where the hell did Brezzy go? Checking every single corner, trying to play the timing, but Brezzy might have just played it to perfection. Gonna be able to get the free kill over towards Water Street and finesse a little bit with his life while his teammates complete that B segment. But he falls. Atlanta FaZe stays strong on defense, 22 to 21 in lives.
Oh, and a good follow-up there is Abizi. Maybe got a little bit too big for his britches over through Water Street, but Simp right through mid. Continues to just dominate defensively at the middle of the map. 3 for Simp, the third the most impressive of the bunch. And we've got a 20 play 17, minute 20 on the clock, and Seattle are left to have to play off the OE.
Now you have a lot of time to work with if you are the Surge, but you can't waste a lot of time trying to locate where these players from Atlanta FaZe are. Good thing for them is that Abizi does not have a rival 9 in hand. Not the preferred weapon, and unfortunately it comes back to bite them. And now Seattle Surge, they're already behind enemy lines. Atlanta FaZe need to iron up.
I will say, though, there have been some moments here for Seattle where it's like, hey, this is good for you, but they're not teamworking out a couple of positions that should be pretty much given. I mean, 04's had a couple of very aggressive challenges. Some of it has worked out, sure, but, you know, there have been some moments where Atlanta should surely be wiped off the field, and they're able to win a 1v1 like this one to give themselves a chance. But the first tick of progress, looking likely at A. Follow-up eliminations for FaZe are decent. The first tick gets locked, but Celium on 5 will not have a chance to get the 6th here. Atlanta swarming right back through Water Street and are right back into position defensively.
And now Seattle find themselves up by 3 segments, so that's already job well done to at least even it up. But you want to try to walk away with this round win, so you could be on defense potentially 2 rounds in a row. But Celium finds himself on 6 in a row. Cruise missile already earned. 25 seconds remaining for Seattle Surge to try to make something happen.
04 able to deal with Simp deep towards Water Street, but Abizi Celium continuing to just be menaces in the middle of the map. Last one to find is Abuza, and I think they know they've got him completely cornered inside of blue. Celium will say, you boys got that, I'll handle B Street. Abizi will do the same over towards Waterside, but Abuza's been a bit more of a problem here. Draza has to lock this up, but Seattle are not going to try to push out and try to get to A. It would have been a hard-pressed race to get there considering where Atlanta's defense was, so it'll be the 4 ticks, and now it's just down to, again, can you just keep Atlanta from finding a first tick over on the A bone?
Yeah, I think even if they tie it up and complete that B point, Atlanta FaZe are going to guarantee themselves defense with the way that they've been able to outslay Seattle so far in this game. So if you are the Surge, it's about not allowing them to get 3 segments, but even better, just trying to put them in the trap early. So this start off is going to be big for Surge.
Yeah. And Cell is going to watch through mid-map. Are they looking to possibly use the cruise missile early just to get those 3 ticks? Could be. Push up from Abizi. Stun trying to find the 1v1 versus Brezzy, but that wasn't a 1v1. Abuza was right there with him. Now the push forward, starting to come out for Seattle. Nade will land. Simp the last one left, and he's playing outside of Broken. Right back into the zone. Brezzy dealt with up top the read over towards 04. First tick locked. Second actually on the way, but Abuza and 04 do well to kick a couple of kills, and now it's just down to Cell trying to isolate, but that stun, I don't know if that was from the defense or not. It doesn't make a difference. Trades are in, and Seattle have now pushed up the map.
Now, this is a scary moment for Atlanta because you do not want to get trapped. That time is continuously getting away from you, but when you have players who can shoot like that, you are breaking the setup for the Surge. That is only 1 player left in Hook over towards that B point. You know that he just walked away from him, but he is going to put down a couple shots, so you're just going to try to isolate him to work those segments over at B.
Here comes the pitch from Sim. Shots over towards Hook, can't get the kill. Brezzy's nearby. Does he know that Brezzy's playing right above him? That's the real question here.
Hello?
Hello? I'm surprised Brezzy didn't try to just jump down and take Sim, because when you let him live, he does stuff like this. 04, now the last one left. First kill is good. Shots towards Abizi. Able to give him quite low. Abuza on the pitch, dealt with by Cell, and FaZe just need to deal with the 04, which they do. They'll get the second tick of progress. Brezzy and Hook still trying to force the defense in, but they may have to put up a little bit of a pause here, and with that, FaZe will get the 3rd tick.
Yeah, once Hook falls through the mid-dark, you are now forced to give up that B point. But now if you are Seattle, you have to try to outslay, because You see everybody for Atlanta FaZe is all sitting at a positive. Only one player currently positive for 0-4. He's having another moment in the feed. Finds a double, make it a triple. Now all of Atlanta FaZe coming off the respawn.
One of the top slayers in the lobby right now is 0-4. Lots of engagements, 26 and 25. Gotta get something else from his teammates because 0-4 has been a hero through and through. And now the cruise missile is out. That will be dropped over towards the A zone, but Abuza stays safe with that, with the trophy system intact. 0-4 watching his cross from Laundry. So again, even though Seattle doesn't really own the middle of the map, they're in decent spots and they've dealt with Celium on the pinch. So now everything from FaZe has to come from the front.
Yeah, with 40 seconds left, you have to make this one count. And I don't really like that play call right there to Celium with that cruise missile. But at least it does force the players from Seattle Surge indoors to allow your teammates to get farther pushed up on the map. An unfortunate team kill from Brezzy because all of Atlanta FaZe are right around him.
That door's open here. Player in Laundry, player diving in, and Abizi not only gets one, but he gets a little bit of assistance from Draza to find the kill. So now it's just down to Hook. This will be a 1v3 essentially for him, and he's been dealt with. And look at the spawns. Seattle are all the way out towards blue. 3-man stack is in. First tick locked, second on the way. Abuza, big gunfight window from range. Can they still find a way to get these players out? Draza, Simp working together. Then they get the third tick locked. It's just down to Simp. Brezzy drops, but Hook saves the day. And now it's just down to this last and final approach. 4v3 the count.
Gotta make it count if you are Surge. Don't want to fall short on this defensive round. 0-4 again with a big kill onto Abizi. Abuza finds Draza. Now with only 2 seconds left, Atlanta FaZe are not going to have an opportunity to get on the point. 0-4 just getting it done for this Surge squad. Whenever his team needs him to the most, he's finding a double, potentially a triple in the feed to simply keep them alive. But now you're going into a round 5 where you watch Atlanta FaZe walk away with a lot of segments over at A. You have to try to figure it out on this attack.
Got to. They've had opportunities. And again, there's just enough resiliency, maybe just in 0-4, to stop Atlanta from getting these runaway moments. A lot of other teams, when they crumble like that, there is no hero. There is no one to save them from it. But so far, Seattle have again extended the lifeline map after map. But a round 5 offense is the ask. To try to go up in the series through the swing map, and Seattle find themselves all focused over towards B. Trophy system does get placed a little bit late, but still an opportunity. Hook trying to get on a bit of a streak, but again, trades are decent over the B zone. And with Abuza on, this should at least be 1 tick of progress.
Yeah,
good.
Seattle Surge just try to extend this time. Just give myself a lot of time to try to break down the setup of Atlanta FaZe. They're slowly working up the progression for this first segment, but Brezzy does fall all the way pushed out towards Treehouse. So now Atlanta FaZe know we can start to get aggressive over towards Z because you already have Draza on the deep pinch.
Well, here's the thing. Hook has gotten over towards A. So as much as Atlanta was really overwhelming this B play, Seattle has them taking their focus back over towards the opposite zone, but just not a scout out towards Simp, legitimately just walking into the zone untouched. So Hook will drop. Draza now pushing forward. The only player they don't know about right now is Brezzy on the corner. He's able to find one, sneaks away, but the trophy system doesn't really stop the damage enough. Cell gets credit for the kill. But Atlanta continue to kind of have to go back and forth like a seesaw between both of these two zones, as now Seattle are working on the third tick at B.
Yeah, they're working on the third tick, but Atlanta FaZe is still going to try to contest this, not allow them to extend this time. You send in the Beezy, he's going to at least get something done. He's able to find a double. Now all of Seattle Surge coming off of the respawn. Draza was doing a great job of at least contesting on the left side of the street. Another unfortunate team kill for Brezzy, but you look how much map control Atlanta FaZe have. You have to get past the Beezy.
And this feels familiar for Abizi. This time there isn't an Abuza behind him to get the easy kill. It's the one in front of him that finds the trade. 30 seconds on the clock. Lives are starting to run out here for Seattle as well. Down to a 20 playing 13. Third tick being worked down by Brezzy. At least could be being worked down by Brezzy on the B zone. Help from Seattle, spawning towards Ice Cream. Has to find success, and it needs to be clean. Good stun towards Abizi will confirm the extra 60 seconds.
Yeah, and they're finding a couple kills as well in the feed if you are Surge. Now it's all about taking more space around the map with these kills. As that third segment is about to get complete, Hook through the middle of the map, able to win an insane gunfight, keeps himself in a position to potentially take down Abizi, but he's 60 HP. Let's just find a trade. And Seattle Surge currently with a lot of map control. Atlanta FaZe got to clutch up.
And you could hang here for a little bit if you're Seattle. wait for Hook to get into the mix, but Brezzy gets caught over towards the A-bomb street. Abuza still over towards this cutout, and Cafe dealt with, and the follow-up right there, I am sure Seattle will go back and look at that and say, what could we be doing differently? Because everyone was a bit stuck, and as Atlanta started to push up, they found every single kill, and that may have taken the wind out of the sails of this potential round 5 offense, but 04 provides another double, and okay, don't count them out yet. Seattle's still breathing.
It's got to be perfect because there's only 30 seconds left and you only have 5 lives in your back pocket to play with. Unfortunately, 04 is going to fall to Celium. Another clutch kill over towards that A Street side. Brezzy working around the defense, but we got to work through the front. We have to try to get there.
He knows he's in trouble. Tries to slip around Simpin. Okay, that'll work out. The finesse is good for the kill, but it's just down to a 2v9. Brezzy trying to get it done, trying to provide some sort of an option to get in towards A, but not going to happen. Atlanta just too strong defensively. So even though Seattle found some recovery moments on their own defense, staved off the Atlanta hits that looked pretty imminently good for maybe even a full round, gets them to around 5, but still cracking the code offensively. So difficult to do against this FaZe team.
Yeah, it's very difficult because even when you find a clean 2 to 3 dead, the last player up is still an absolute shooter. And it was selling him every time over towards that A Street, just keeping the faith in favor of Atlanta FaZe, finding a clutch double, slowing down that push, and then allowing the players off the respawn to retake their way up through the middle of the map. Sip leads the way with 7,100 damage. Obviously, everybody for Atlanta FaZe drops 30, but Seattle Surge, they got to be beating themselves up because in the final 20 seconds, you fall short in the defensive round. They give them a couple ticks, and then you guarantee yourself an attacking round versus this Atlanta FaZe roster, who are simply probably the best defensive team that we have in the game. But at least you kept it a fight. At least you kept it a fight. And now you're going into a 6-star where it has been a bread and butter ever since that it's been added to the map pool for this team.
Absolutely the case. Also important to note in that scoreboard, Brezzy around 6,200 damage. He was 24 and 34, but had 14 assists. So, I mean, he's getting damage done across. But that's also the problem when you play against this FaZe team is, you know, getting 140 points worth of damage, and it feels good, but they're so good at finessing their lives and coming back and replaying out a gunfight later that it can be difficult to confirm those kills. And again, I think there's another element here, and we'll kind of take a look to see if this is replicated in the 6-star. It just feels like there was a couple of moments in this where Seattle just were not taking their time to teamwork out an isolated FaZe member, where like 04 got really aggressive, and maybe he's shooting well enough to pull off some of those overextension gunfights, but Hook did the same thing a couple of times where it's just like, guys, just wait a half a second, get that second member there, confirm that kill, and then turn that into actual motion across the map. Those little things, I think, were the difference maker in this one.
And that's the same thing that costed them yesterday in their series versus LAT. They were dominating all throughout that Rio, but then when you started going one by one to try to break these hills, it's not going to lead to a W. And that could potentially come to, you know, we got a couple rookies in this squad, we got a couple new faces in the CDL, and when you get to those late game moments, you're probably shaking a little bit. You cannot afford to do that versus a team like Atlanta FaZe. It cost you yesterday versus LAT, but the best team in the game, you have to make sure you're on point from start to finish of this game. So if you are Seattle Surge going into the 6-star hardpoint, you have to make sure that your rotations are a lot better, because you saw all of map number 1, Atlanta FaZe, never bit the bullet twice. You might beat them off a break, you might get the final 30, but they're always responding with a great hold at the next hill. If you are Surge, rotate, you have a chance to force game 5.
And I think the thing here is we need those ARs to really step up in those moments in particular. That was a huge letdown for them in the Karachi. Still battled back at one point, just being down 40 points. But at that point, it's so late in the game that it almost feels completely negligible. In terms of the history across this overall map, though, both teams have found even amounts of success on it. I think in terms of hard points overall throughout this stage, this has been one of the better ones for Seattle. Maybe this and Vista. Just the one loss that they've been able to tally, and that was a 215 to 250 versus Optic. So again, they've been good here. It just comes down to, again, those extra little polish moments that Atlanta will punish you for if you do open up mistakes.
And Atlanta FaZe, you said that they might have a similar record. They're sitting at 1-1 in this stage. They fall short to Optic 250 to 205. But then the next time that they played it, it wasn't versus no scrubs. They were playing another top 3 team in the game in Toronto Ultra, and they beat them down to a pulp. 250 to about 120 was the score line. As you take a look at the numbers for both squads, it's a plus 40 average for Atlanta FaZe. That means that when they're winning by a lot. But their hold percentage is outstanding compared to a Seattle who's also outstanding. But the break percentage for Atlanta FaZe is a little short because they haven't really had a lot of opportunities to break any of these hills. So I think if you're Atlanta, let's just stick to what we do best. We rotate, we're going to be able to close out this series.
And I think on the other side of this for Seattle, in terms of trying to find success on those rotations, if you're the team who's getting the scrap, you need Hook and 04 to work together
Yes.
to open up that space as SMGs. You cannot just allow one of them to run rogue into a waiting arm of a Draza or a Celium or wherever the SMGs happen to be. We saw BZ and Karachi just do whatever the heck he wanted. He was, 34 and something or other and didn't have more than maybe 10 seconds in the hard point. So expect him to be in an unexpected spot. I think that's kind of the overall frame up as we again just take time to praise over Celium because map number 1 plus 19 and he had 2.5 minutes worth of hard point time. So he was literally Mr. Do-It-All. You cannot allow that to happen again if you're Seattle.
Yeah, you simply can't. So let's just be at that hill early on and not allow Celium to be very, very comfortable holding down a single lane. But here we go into the P1. Seattle Surge with a little bit of a split push. Couple players through you. Couple players attacking two top VIP, but Brezzy starts it off. Brezzy's able to find a second. Now Seattle had the numbers. They're going to walk away with some much needed, with some good time here at P1.
Well, 3 for 2 exchange. Okay. It's absolutely perfect. And now it's just down to do you get a read where this next Atlanta hit is coming from. They deal with the BZ over towards mid steps. Simp through the backside at U-Haul, catches Brezzy napping in the corner, and that's enough for Atlanta to re-break almost immediately. Plus, again, that little extra step. Able to find 04 topside DJ booth. The follow-up, though, shut down in Seattle again. Right back in, game of tug-of-war over the first hill.
Yeah, they're able to break on in, but you can pay attention to the mini-map. Atlanta FaZe at least have the preferred spawns over towards P2. So you can contest this time all the way to the very end, but we're more focused on maintaining our map control for this next hard point. And Seattle come out swinging early on to the P1, but now you have to walk right through the front door to try to find a break on Atlanta.
Early nades being denied by this trophy, which does expire. Here's the play through the shallow end of the pool. Celium stuck in between the pool stairs, and, well, he's able to get one. Stun comes through, but a follow-up Semtex at his feet allows the BZ a chance to isolate. Now it's down to just Hook inside the hard point. And this little step up could be absolutely huge for him, but his back is not fully covered. And as Hook and 04 drop, Atlanta just walk right back into the hard point.
Yep, they have the back spawns, but at least you think so. 04 is actually going to spawn right behind them, but a BZ spawns literally right behind him for that easy kill. And now Atlanta FaZe still hold on, and this can get scary if you are the Surge, because those spawns now flip. You do not want to be on the back foot again. You need to find this break early on to give yourself a little bit of time to win a couple gunfights off the rotation.
Oh my goodness, Simp nearly just absolutely single-handedly shredded apart the Surge. And that's what we're talking about. Like, Atlanta rotated at 22 seconds left in the hard point, left just Celium in the inside of the hard point, and then when Atlanta realized no one's actually tested this rotation, Simp holds his ground, plays for the exit, and it just makes life so difficult for Surge. Trying to rotate across the map, followed up through mid-statue. Abuza, Hook do provide a couple of eliminations. Is it enough to flip spawns fully out? Not quite, but Brezzy around the back will at least block for now as Atlanta clean up everything from the front.
Oh, but Draza with a great play to find 3 in the feed. You keep Celium alive, you read the player going on the pinch, and then you're also able to find an insane gunfight through the front end. Atlanta FaZe take the lead by a little bit, but there's still a lot of great time here at P3. Celium is also on 3 in a row, but everybody from Seattle, they're just gonna hit the jump up, and they at least find a break for a little bit of time.
And again, it's the small moments here, Jay. I mean, we're already tailing it just 3 hard points in. That small moment for Seattle, it gives them a chance to stay tight, but still Atlanta able to find the advantages in those late moments of the hard point. Now up towards top security. Stuns, nades landing on both sides. Draza in trouble, has to back off, and Celium's there to cover, but not fully enough. Surge will get control of the security room itself. Draza stuck down at gold, and how about it? Seattle will technically win this rotation out. 1v1 with Simp. The stun is through, but not enough to take the kill. And that should be enough to block spawns, and it is.
Yeah, you do not want this if you are Atlanta, because if you're flaying your way through the backside, it's not going to be easy. As Brezzy's able to come off spawn, catch these 2 players going on a pinch, and now Atlanta FaZe have to work their way right through the front. But they find every single kill in the feed. Sip has covered so much ground in this one life, now finds himself on 5 in a row.
You have to know that the call from 04 was 2 players top security, and then all of a sudden, wait, Sim's bottom gold. Wait, no, Sim's top security. Like, he's just all over the place. And now looking for 6 in a row. There's good for the cruise missile. So again, a moment where you look at that and say, Atlanta FaZe are dominating, but Surge have done well. Again, their objective focus has been really strong for them since adding 04 to the mix. They are right back in this game, a tie one, pretty much to the exact numbers we had on over towards the pool.
But this is now the 4th time that they have been late to the party. Atlanta FaZe fully set up with the cruise missile in their back pocket. You also got trophy systems going down, so how does Seattle Surge try to find a way on in? Everyone attacking through that P2 side. aBeZy stuck between a rock and a hard place, cannot find anyone, but Atlanta FaZe still doing a great job of trading effectively. That's another clean 4 dead. Seattle Surge's push gets shut down.
And Simp once again gets back to work. Front side palm tree. Just making sure that Seattle, if they're going to hit this, it's going to have to be right through the pool. And wow. I mean, it is just so darn clean. aBeZy keeping his life, turns that into a double and a chance to contest. Pistol battle, so hard to track, but aBeZy wins it out. Trades still decent, and again, a moment that feels good for the side of Atlanta, but Seattle continue just to keep working their way through. It's gritty, it's grindy, and it's working out okay to keep the lead just to about 20 points.
But this isn't the recipe for success. We can't rely on breaks for the final 15 to 20 seconds, only walking away with 10, especially with Atlanta FaZe hitting those early rotations again. They are the team set up for this P1 this time around. They know exactly where the pressure's going to be coming in from, and they have every single angle cut off. Seattle, once again, are going one by one, and they're just getting picked apart.
Yeah, and that's another moment where I think 04 just needs to go prone. Wait, you got ARs playing over the top of you here at Nest. Just allow yourself to get the 150 HP, because as soon as you try to go into a fight 1v3 at low health, it's just not going to work out well for you. So again, Atlanta, the early rotators over towards this central bar, working out for the first 40 seconds or so as they try to stretch towards the 150 mark. SMGs continue to make a mess of this, and Seattle this time not able to break through for the scrap as Atlanta start to take all their focus or attention on this rotation to P2.
And now this way you need to make these kills count if you are Seattle, because you were blessed still to maintain a little bit of these back control. But all the kills still in the feed are going to be red. Last player in the back is going to be who? Keep falls to Simp. 23 and 10, without a doubt in my mind, the best player currently in the game, and he continues to show it.
That's another 6 in a row for Simp. Atlanta still controlling the front side of the hard point, and I'm sure they're vibing as we jump on into a FaZe today.
One back door, one shot, back door. Mid, back door. Back left, mid time. I'm gonna pick up. I get you left side. Backside time, left side. I think. Wait, we go for it. One more. I'm an idiot. Nice, 2. I'll play him. Yeah, you're front door. You're right up front. He's front. He's still there. He's in the corner. Hey, Jump. MC, look at me. I got time. I have take. Jump right now. Jump. Out of me. Mini on a spawn. See nothing back there. There's two. I spawned front, bro. I'm actually just down this again. Item. I think pushing to the right. Take him out. I'm walking. Sit out. Right here. Yeah. Middle Kyler. Missing a 4. Nice. Missing a boost. I'm blocking. Back on me. Charles. He starts on. Nice. Go, Charles. I need help, Chris. I need help. Hey, I need time. One shot time, Chris. Dead. Hey, let's go. I'm knitting over. They're gonna fight anyways, okay? Yeah, I'm straight for next. You can't get all this time. Guys, we're not blocking. I'm blocking mid. They're not flipping. I'm flipping. Core open. I'm watching, bro. I'm blocking B2 spawn. Later. 3-1. They might spawn mid, bro. I'm blocking. Open. Open going to this one mid, bro. Open going you.
It's just so much trust in the comms for Atlanta, and well, when everyone's near double positive, I think it's easy to really earn and gain that trust. And once again, we find ourselves a new hard point, Jay. Seattle this time, for one of the rare times, will win rotation, but they need a full 60 and another full 60 if they want to have a chance here.
There you go. Finally, after 7 hard points, we win a rotation to the new one and cut our losses to not fight for the final 15 to 20 seconds. But now you got to deal with the cruise missile getting invested out of Atlanta. Nothing is going to connect, but you have players attacking from multiple different angles. All they need is 15 seconds to close out this series.
And just to compare and contrast, in these moments, Atlanta would pump out one side of the hard point. Seattle, instead, trying to bunker down, receive the hit for whatever it comes from. And so far, so good, actually. Pook now on to 5 in a row. Wants number 6, but again, maybe a bit too greedy. aBeZy able to quickly find the team shots to secure the trade, but you know, the full 60 largely there. But once again, here we go. Rotation, Atlanta already there waiting, getting soaked over towards the pool hill.
Yeah, no sweat off the brow if you are Atlanta. We are already up by 100 points. We just need 15 seconds to close out the game, and we win a rotation this time around over towards water and find every single kill in the feed. Last player alive is going to be who. You have to try to make something happen, and you can't kill aBeZy. That's all 4 dead in the feed. It's only a matter of moments for Atlanta call series.
I mean, this is unreal. 250 looking pretty likely here in this hard point, and it will be 250, 148. Again, another moment where it's like early in the hard point, you know, 40-20 exchanges, you know, between both teams, but it's just those 20 seconds for Seattle always coming in the last 20 seconds of the hard points.
Yep.
And you just cannot afford to continue to commit through old time on a map like 6 Star. You're going to get out rotated and then usually punished every single time. And by the time that we eventually got to our second set of hills, it just became too much to overcome.
You just allowed Atlanta FaZe to win 6 rotations in a row. Like, they're walking away with 40 seconds. You're breaking in for the final 15 to 20. You're not going to win the game like that. We have to put ourselves in a situation where we can cut our losses, set up properly for the next hill, and then try to get a full 60 the same way they just did at that P4 HP. You just got to do it for another couple of hills, and you're going to stand a better chance. But Atlanta FaZe doing what Atlanta FaZe do, outslaying the hell out of the opponent, doing the fundamental parts correctly. They could just do no wrong right now. They go 7-0 so far in this stage, without question, the top dog of the league and the favorites going into Major 3.
And it's that stretch between P4 and P3. You go from 81 points to 107 over the course of 5 hard points. That's where you really see the punishment of rotating late. Just a couple